This video may be a little bit too hard to watch, and I dare to say that my hardest video to even make and produce, but it is necessary. Way too many people are walking around with fake smiles. Really inside, they're in a terrible situation and terrible relationship with somebody that is hurting them. So I have to make this video to help whoever needs to hear this and whoever needs to be strong enough to get out of that situation. So before we start, let's talk about what is abuse. So I've heard this word abuse, and honestly it's not always loud, it's not always obvious. You can see in the case of Diddy and Cassie, allegedly, that is ongoing right now. If I saw Cassie walking on the red carpet, I would have never thought that girl was getting abused. We can see the case of Halle and DDG. They were so loving to each other, and honestly I was rooting for them. So it's never really loud, but it's there. Abuse basically is when somebody uses their power, and power can be emotional, physical and psychological, by to control you, make you feel small, feel ashamed, make you feel weak, and you're in a situation where you cannot control or you cannot speak up for yourself. Abuse has that effect on people, and it can happen to anyone. It can happen in a family, or it could be in a relationship. We'll be looking at it in a relationship aspect right now and today. And if you guys want me to touch about the family aspect, let me know in the comments, because I'll be happy to also indulge in that. Now that we know what abuse is, there are different types of abuse. The major ones: physical abuse, emotional abuse. We also have financial abuse, verbal abuse. So the ones that we're actually going to look at is the physical abuse. It has been a trend of lately that men are putting their hands on women, whether they are black, whether they are any race, honestly, and it is getting disgusting. The major ones that are prominent nowadays, I have to be honest, especially when it comes to celebrity news, black women. For me personally, if I'm being honest, abuse has always been normal. I never saw my dad put his hands on my mom. I never saw my dad do such a thing to my mom. However, I have lived in neighborhoods where I could literally hear the screams of somebody going through that. It was so constant that it felt normal. I would also be in a situation where I would know a church member was going through something like this, and it's like the couple constantly is seeking counsel from the church, but there's nothing really being done because this was normal. This was how. As I got older, even when I was younger, I knew it was off, because I was just like, so weird to constantly be putting your hands on a woman that you are married to. If you don't like her, why don't you just leave? That was always my mentality. Now that I've gotten older, it's I'm really more aware, and it's really sick, especially in my society, Nigeria, where I come from, how normal it is, quote unquote normal it is, to see how abuse is on the daily. Even if it's not in your life personally, you know somebody that knows somebody, or you know somebody from somewhere around you that is currently going through an abuse, and it's usually a woman. I'll be using a few celebrities as my case study. Let's start with the first and the biggest abuse controversy right now: Diddy and Cassie. The abuse story, I'm currently following the case, and everything I'm saying here is allegedly, but I have to say it's the most brutal case of intimacy abuse I've ever heard in my life. But what's very disturbing is how many people are still supporting this man till this day. You guys not know that the age difference between Cassie and that man was 17 years difference. There is no how this girl had the emotional maturity to be able to be in a relationship with that kind of man, and that's why I really don't believe that huge age gaps are healthy. I believe that when it's healthy is when the youngest person in the relationship is at a very good mature age. Like I'm talking about 25, 26. Okay, do whatever you want. 22, she's too young to understand how to navigate that kind of relationship and walk out when she needs to walk out. She suffered a lot, and we have not even gotten to the surface of it. A lot of people like to say that, oh, she was not a victim, or she was part of the crime. That woman was manipulated to the T. How she's been strong and she has moved forward, and it's really amazing to see her in the situation that she's doing so much better than him, and look at where he is now. Another case to talk about: DDG and Halle. Like this one was so painful, but I thought that they were very cute. But I'm really surprised to see that he put his hands on her. The case is currently going on. They're fighting with the restraining order that she has put up. He hasn't also brought any evidence on his side to say that, hey, this did not happen. So it's a bit fishy. I personally believe the evidence I see. I'm shocked to see how many men willingly put their hands on the woman that carried their child, especially in front of the child. We also have a case of Sky Jackson and her baby daddy. I don't want to say his name because who are hearing rumors of him putting his hands on her, also even threatening her with a knife, threatening her with all sorts of things. It is getting too much, guys. Now the big question in all of this: why do we ignore the signs? And these signs, I'm sorry to say, are very obvious. Yes, there's a healthy amount of jealousy in a relationship. If I'm dating a guy and a woman sits on his lap, I will definitely be jealous. But there's a certain amount of jealousy that does not make any sense. out. I mean, we had DDG, even after he broke up with Cassie, allegedly blowing up kids, Curtis' car. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name well, but like things like that shows possessiveness. It's not even jealousy anymore. They look at you as an object. They look at you as something that nobody can have or nobody can take. And I get sometimes in a relationship we do say hurtful things to each other, but if you see that maybe when you are trying to move on or you are choosing better for yourself, he starts bringing you down or saying things that you will never find anyone better than me. He starts being obsessive with your stories and things like that, trying to get in your business. It gets weird, guys. Recognize the sign, and that's why things like restraining order is actually a good thing. And another thing about ignoring the signs, women are also taught to be ride or dies. I don't know who told you that you have to be riding or dying for a man you met 2 years ago. Meanwhile, you have been born for 22 years in your life. It's insane. The only person that you should ride or die for is yourself. I honestly feel the highest you should give a relationship, especially one that you know in your heart is not going anywhere, 6 to 1 year. Leave that experience for 1 year and call it a day. I'm sorry, because even 1 year is insane. 6 months tops, and I say 6 to 1 year because I believe in the next 6 months you need strength to walk away. Another thing I have noticed as a society in general, why we ignore these signs is because of the fame, the beauty, the money the other party possesses. For example, we don't even talk about the use of internet abuse. Internet abuse is a real thing. It's an emotional abuse. You coming online to be talking about a person, and you can talk about your shared experience, yes, but to be mentioning the person's name, making your fans angry to go after that person is internet abuse. And sometimes your fans are so obsessed with you, they don't even see that you two are a terrible person for doing that. Why do we feel like because the person has fame or money they cannot be an abuser? They're just airing out their laundry, they're just being emotional. That's abuse. Internet abuse is a real thing. You can speak about your shared experiences, but to be pointing fingers at, hey, this person did this to me at this time, is not really right in this kind of climate. People take social media too seriously. So you definitely have people in somebody else's comments saying this person should do this person should, like, it's disgusting. So please, things like that, internet abuse, once you see maybe the partner that you are with is an internet abuser, they're angry with you, the first thing they do is to say, hey, this person did. Another thing I feel like we do as a society, feel like the victims do, is that they don't leave because they feel maybe some kind of shame or fear. I was watching this show called The Real recently, and someone said that she was okay with accepting a ring from a man that she knew that she did not love, and she knew he did not love her, because she felt that it makes sense that she has suffered so long, so it's okay for her to have the ring. Obviously she's moved on and she's doing well and she's not married to him, but in that moment she felt that she accepted the ring because at least it makes up for all the shame that I have been with. It kind of makes me feel like probably that's how some of these victims feel. They feel like, okay, I have been through this suffering, I've been through this. It makes sense that I will stay in this situation and tug it out, because at the end of the day, I get to be called a girlfriend or a wife or whatever. The worst thing you can do to yourself is to lie to yourself. To lie to yourself that you're comfortable in this situation. To lie to yourself that you're the cool girlfriend. To lie to yourself that, oh, he didn't really do this to me, I just probably fell. To lie to yourself that, oh, it's not a big deal. It's a big deal. Someone hurting you is a big deal. Someone treating you anyhow is a big deal. Someone abusing you is a big deal. Do not lie to yourself. Be honest with yourself and walk out once you have told yourself, I have not gone through physical abuse, but I have gone through emotional abuse. Here are some things I feel like you should look out for if you know you're in this situation. Anybody that isolates you from your friends and family gets to go. I'm sorry. What do you mean that you're isolating from my friends and my family? People who I've known from 20 something years, 30 something years, I should immediately leave them. That is wrong. Isolation from your friends and family is a form of abuse. And I don't care if it's your church that told you to isolate yourself. I'm sorry. It's abuse. They're controlling you. That's the whole point. Anybody that is excessively tracking your phone, tracking your movement. I have never felt the need to track anybody's phone that I've dated. To be honest with you, I have never felt the need to say, hey, we have to put a tracking device. Trust that we have is what will build our relationship. If anyone starts to tell you, well, all the girls that I date, I feel like I have to track their location because I want to know if they're cheating, run. Anyone that is explosively jealous, like I've always said, jealousy is actually very healthy. I learned this 5-6 years ago because I push you to your goals. It can make you want to do better in some certain things, but it becomes terrible when you are jealous, or maybe your partner's friend or whatever, and you become explosive about it. You can communicate your feelings. You can tell your partner, this is what I feel in this situation, this is weird, this is giving me weird vibes, and you can try to see what can work. And if it doesn't work, you have the right to leave that situation. It's not by force. It is not by It's not by force. Explosive jealousy, when he see or she sees you with it, they feel they have to do this. They have to throw something on the ground. They have to. What? These are signs of somebody that could potentially hurt you. Another thing I also feel like ties in with this kind of physical abuse would be emotional abuse. Emotional or psychological abuse. There's no way somebody is physical with you without attempting to be emotionally abusive to you. It starts small. You know you're ugly. You're always doing makeup. First of all, anyone that downgrades you as a joke. Oh my god, you want to wear that? You know you're fat. What? Some of you are in terrible relationships and you are literally just normalizing it. Then from degrading, or it comes to threats. I'll do this to you. Blah blah blah. He jokes. It's just a joke. You take it too personal. In fact, that word, you take it too personal. I hate it. I hate that word. Yes, I said it. I'm a hater. If you don't like it, that is enough. In fact, once you hear jokes like that, you need to take it as seriously as possible and walk out. Then another thing is that turn into blame. They start to maybe they have incidents as occurred and they start to apologize and they say, well, it's because you start to feel that, oh, if I was better, or if I did this, then he would have stayed. That is manipulative, guy. He is manipulating you. Most of the guys, especially some of the toxic, there's a trait. This trait is very common with them. I have noticed it. I've experienced it. I've lived it. There's a common man manipulation that they do. Call it man manipulation, if I'm being honest, because I've experienced it from mostly men. They tell you that if you had been better, they would have done this. I put it to you, or I tell you right now, that there's nothing you can ever do to a man or woman that will make them treat you any better. So once you feel like you're in this man manipulative situation where he tells you, well, if you did this, I would have not done this. It's because you did this. That's why I did this. He's putting his hands on you. That's a big no. Cassie's story is super tragic, but very, very powerful. Halle's story is currently unfolding. And Sky is a big warning to you. Into the situation, look at these three tempers. One stayed for a long time. One did the correct and left and actually filed a restraining order. But they all got the same reaction. People still believe the abusers. So you better pick yourself. Another thing is that if you're in this situation, you feel something is off, document everything. Be smart. Photograph, take videos. Your word is important. Your word is important. The way what you see is what you're actually getting. People will believe you. Okay, get support. Speak with your family, speak with your friends. Someone out there will definitely help and protect you. I know this video was dark, guys. I know I've been in a little bit of dark videos, but this is very important and I've seen it trending too much, so I had to talk about it. If you have anything you want me to talk about, put that in my comment section. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click on other content from me. Bye guys, have a good day and please take care of yourself.